conference title is Livestock, Gender and Agency Amidst Conflict in Ethiopia. As you know, livestock is very important for the economy of Ethiopia. It's very important for incomes, it's very important for livelihoods of households, and also very important for empowering women especially. So this conference is about understanding how the livestock sector may have been affected by conflict and how that effect may be differentiated by gender, how it affects men and women differently, and also how we can empower women to recover, if you like, not just women, but also the communities that they live in.
If we think of agriculture, it is affected by conflict. And so we have had this research project to actually explore the impact of conflict, especially post-conflict area, what needs to be done, what are the issues that need to be addressed.
We do also have some evidence suggesting that conflict is a major driver of food insecurity, and also a risk of conflict kind of constraints engagement in productive strategies.
Livestock are key entry points in agriculture. So, of course, women in the livestock, particularly the smaller species of livestock, they're inseparable. So, the key goal of today's conference as well is to build evidence and momentum toward this building ideas and informing policies in rehabilitating and rebuilding livelihoods for women and the youth, of course.
In a conflict situation, women are usually very badly affected, and they are affected in many, many different ways. Now, what we see is that in order to recover post-conflict, the restocking that needs to take place, and a lot of the activities that go back to people rebuilding, that might ignore the women. And yet, the women, if they are capacitated and empowered, they can become part of the restoration process, part of getting back to normal. And so the reason why gender is included is to make sure that we are deliberate about ensuring that women are included in addressing what needs to be done to help people recover from conflict.
Livestock is important to both men and women. Compared with other resources, women find it easier to acquire those livestock, which implies who should we ask really about those assets. The evidence until now that we use comes from single member of a household, often heads of the household, who we believe is the knowledgeable person in relation to household livelihood, including agriculture. So we often tend to ignore the other half, who are engaged in most agricultural activities, mainly livestock and crops. So we need to engage them, we need to listen to them. That kind of evidence generation could be really important.
The usual focus is on material consequences. Buildings are destroyed, people die, bridges are destroyed, and so on and so forth. However, conflict also has psychological consequences. These consequences affect both the mental state and behavior, subsequent behavior of those who are subject to violence.
Normally when we think of post-conflict, we think about bringing food aid, we think about bringing medicine, all of them necessary and needed. But this flipped the coin a little bit to say there's more that people who have survived conflict would actually need. And this is on bringing in the issue of what are the psychological needs that would help. Conflicts bring many challenges to people. And it's only by exploring through research that we will find some of those intricacies that might not be obviously visible. But by doing the type of research that we have heard about today, it allows us to explore potential bundles of solutions that people in conflict-affected areas might actually need.
Decision makers will use the information to make their decisions about the interventions that they can implement. But ultimately, the beneficiaries are the communities that have been affected by the conflict. The livestock keepers, the women and men that have been affected by conflict. By implementing interventions that address their problems, their challenges that they are facing, we are empowering, we are facilitating the communities to rebound, to be resilient and recover and rebuild their livelihoods.
And on this, I would like to congratulate the people that presented their research today. It's a lot of work. When you stand up and present for 10 minutes, I think often we forget that people took many years and hours to be able to come up with what you end up presenting. So congratulations, and I wish you well as you seek to find ways of making use of the evidence that you have generated and to ensure that this evidence does actually travel to reach the communities that can benefit from it. Thank you very much.